Well, hello there. Good Sunday afternoon. It's me again. Come on in. Look at what we're cooking today. By popular request, we're going to do collard greens today. Couldn't find a fresh bunch, so I went by Sam's Club and I found some Nature's greens. They're already cut and washed, but you know me, I'm going to wash them a little bit more. So what I always do is just I dump them into my colander and just rinse them off a little bit more just so I feel good about it, because I have at times when I was crunched for time used these before and just went ahead and cooked them and they were great. Not a lot of grit on them or anything like that. If you'll notice how they're cut into these long pieces like this is the way you want to cut them. So if you had an actual bunch of collard greens with the leaves, you would simply take the leaves, wash them and wash them. When you buy them fresh already in the bunch, you got to wash them about 5 or 6 times. You just take them off the stalk, because when they come in the leaf form, this big stalk runs all the way through that leaf, and you just take the stalk out and then just cut them up. I mean, it's just that simple. But let me tell you something. I like to cook smart, not hard. So it's okay to use collards that's already cut up and washed. They're fine. They're still collard greens. They're going to have that same good old-fashioned flavor, because the key to cooking collards is how you season them. So if you buy them already cut up in a bunch, however, just think about this. You didn't have to go through all the washing and the cutting and the taking the vein out. So sometime later on, around Thanksgiving, when the collards are really in season in this area, I go out into the fields and I get the huge bunches, and I'll let y'all see how I break them down, because those leaves on those collards are huge, but they're the best collards that you'll ever put your mouth on in this area. Now these collards, I'm going to rinse them off a little bit, and I'm going to put them over here in the pot where I've got some water boiling. Okay, I'll show you my pot and what size. Now this bag of collards is 2 pounds, so I'm going to show you how to cook 2 pounds of collards already cleaned and washed. And we just, like I said, I'm just going to spray them off a little bit here. They're going to get sprayed more than this, but this is basically what I do, is spray them off, and then let the water drain through the colander. And normally I would have, run water in the sink and make a big pan of water and all that kind of thing. But they're already clean. I'm just spraying them off a little bit just to show you basically what they look like before you cook them and what they look like after you take the stalk out of them. So these collards are pot ready. So what we're going to do here, I'm just going to show you how to do a few of them. And it's basically a simple process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these ready to move over on the stove. You know me, I cook right on top of my stove. So we're going to move these collards right on over here to the stove. So here goes. We're just going to sit them right there and pray they don't fall off on the floor. Okay, I've already got my ham bone boiling. You see this side? This is a huge, probably a 8-quart pot. I never check this stuff out beforehand, but anyway, it's an 8-quart pot, and what you see boiling in there is 8 cups of water, a tablespoon of that dry chicken mix that I always use to season everything, and that big old piece of meat in the center of there. That's a ham bone. I baked this ham probably 2 or 3 months ago. So when we got through slicing and eating everything we wanted from it, I just took it and threw it in the freezer. So now I'm going to use it to season my collards with. So, you can use a leftover ham bone. You can go to the store and buy ham hocks. You can buy fatback. You can buy smoked turkey. Whatever you want to use to season those greens. Because this is what makes the difference in collards. Not if they came in a bunch or a bag. Okay, so for 2 pounds of collards, which would probably be one bunch if you bought a bunch, you're going to need a ham bone, probably like that. And I'm going to tell you, some people don't like a lot of grease, can't tolerate a lot of grease. So that's why I said you can use smoked turkey necks or smoked turkey wings, any kind of smoked turkey. Or you can use, if pork and grease doesn't bother you, use all the ham hocks and the salt pork that you want. Some people even just cook their collards in just some chicken broth and just season them to taste. Because remember I told you early on, I cook by taste. So after I finish cooking these collards down and into all that juice and everything, remember I've got 8 cups of water in here, that ham bone, and I'm going to add probably a tablespoon of brown sugar to it and a teaspoon of salt. But once that cooks down and if the seasoning isn't right, the most I'll have to add might be a pinch of salt or something like that. And we're going to add some vinegar in there. I'm going to put a tablespoonful of vinegar in there. So I'm going to show you all. This is all you have to do. It's real simple, folks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting the collards into the water. You just drop them in there. Now, when you start out, you'll think, oh my God, I'm not going to get all these collards into this one pot. But yes, they will, because as they cook down, they will wilt. And as they wilt down, you can put more and more in there. Okay? And sometimes when you're going through these collards, you might find a big stalk or two. Just take it out. I mean, it's no big deal. Because that's what I do sometimes. Sometimes even when I clean my own, I might leave a big stalk in there and you just take the stalk out. But you know, there's vitamins in those stalks. And the other thing, too, about cooking collards, what we call the pot liquor in the collards, oh yeah, that pot liquor is good. What I do with the pot liquor is when all the collards are gone, I'll take that pot liquor and pour it over some cornbread and eat it just like it had collards in it. So it's good. Some people even drink the pot liquor. Now, I don't suggest that you use a lot of pork and fat in there if you're going to drink the pot liquor. But that juice off those collards, or pot liquor, however you want to call it, is very healthy and it's very, very tasty. And it's something that, you know, growing up, when Mom would cook those collards and all of us would eat and nothing was left, honey, let me tell you, I would be the one to get that piece of cornbread and pour that juice right over the top of them. So, as you can see, this pot here is going to hold every last one of them. I'm not going to have to wait until they wilt down. So if your pot will hold everything, just go ahead and just stuff them in there. It doesn't matter because, like I say, once they start cooking, they're going to wilt down. Now, if you don't like a lot of stalks in your greens, and I really don't, but then when I realized what the nutritional value was, I went ahead and left them in there because, you know, health-wise, as we get older, we get more health conscious about what we're eating and how we're doing it. So now I've got all my collards in there, in my 8 cups of water, my ham bone, my tablespoonful of dry chicken mix is in there. So I'm going to take this brown sugar, just a tablespoon, and all it does is sort of just gives it, just knocks the edge off of it, I say. There's one I don't want in there. Okay, and I'm also, whenever they cook down a little bit, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and put some vinegar in it because I'll let the vinegar wait until everything cooks down. So what I'm just going to do is just take my lid and put it on top of there. And as the steam hits those collards, it'll go all the way through there, and those collards will wilt down. And I'm going to have to cook them probably a good hour and a half. Now, some people cook collards in 20 minutes. I don't know about that. But some people do it in 20 minutes.